Welcome to QCC's Face the Region. Face the Region is produced by Quinsigamond Community College to assist our region in attaining educational, economic, and personal prosperity. Good afternoon and welcome once again to QCC's Face the Region here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. I'm Zip Zipfel and extremely honored and thrilled to have with us this afternoon Dr. Gail Carberry, who is retiring now after 11 years at QCC. And in the past couple of weeks, I've seen you a number of times because we sort of worked together on the goodbye video, and it's been really interesting. But a busy couple of weeks from you. You were just mentioning that you've been more than busy.
Yeah.
So how does it feel coming to a close?
Well, it's definitely bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a powerful love for you to step away from something you love, something to lure you in another direction. And, you know, I have a new grandbaby who was just born in March. And my daughter is going back to work as a professor at Boston University in the fall.
Excellent.
And I have 4 grandchildren. My older 3 are all teenagers. So I get the opportunity to bend this new twig on the family tree in a direction that embraces the values that I hold dear. And I'm going to be a primary caregiver along with my husband while my daughter works. Sure. And so we're very excited about that. You know, a door has closed, but windows open. And it is tough stepping away, no two ways about it. You know, I was saying earlier today that I have been so busy these last few weeks, making sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, making sure that the communication with the incoming president in terms of both opportunities and challenges are well articulated. Just this week alone, we opened a new facility in the Blackstone Valley and signed a memorandum of agreement to support another initiative of the chamber out there coming forward. So we are opening what we're calling a cyber learning cafe at Alternatives Unlimited in Whitensville, Northbridge. You know, we have 700 students who come into us from the Blackstone Valley. 200 of them are online. We live in a world where a lot of the young people are digital natives. They are not afraid of the technology. And 200 of the 700 students are online out of the Blackstone Valley. We have envisioned a social gathering place where groups of students who are online can come together, receive personal support face-to-face from QCC people and from their student peers. You know, we talk about social media. Well, there's still opportunity for people to need to come together even when they're learning in an online environment. Not all the learning can take place in a den or a bedroom. So we're excited about that. The other initiative is in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce in the Blackstone Valley. They are launching a manufacturing center, and we signed a memorandum of understanding to provide $134,000 worth of high-tech equipment to that center as it opens in the near future. So, you know, the manufacturing industries of the Blackstone Valley, the historic Blackstone Valley and its you know, industrial revolution roots. We're delighted to be part of that.
That's great. And then, again, it's just one of the many challenges you've faced over these past 11 years. And you mentioned also the digital student. You've kind of seen that just grow.
Yes, most assuredly.
Exponentially.
Yeah, on the 11 years I've been here, we had about 350 students online in 2006 when I got here. Now we've got, you know, 10 times that. 12% of our total credits are generated online now. And so we see more and more students embracing the opportunity to learn anywhere, anytime, and to be able to be part of a work and learn environment in the current economy.
Sure. And I'm sure there's hundreds of these, but your own personal bests. What's your favorite achievement? And again, you've achieved so many things. And the other night at Mechanics Hall, there was a lovely event, and we kind of revisited a lot of those things that you've accomplished. But does one stick out in your mind that you're especially proud of?
Yeah, I have to say the fact that we grew graduation numbers from about 700 at the first commencement that I presided over to over 1,400 in that period of time. Every one of those individuals came across a stage and, had all kinds of hopes and delights. And still, I've seen so many of these students come in not quite certain about what they were going to accomplish. And some of the students are ready to go and some are not when they come through the door. I see this transformation that occurs in the students, and it's so powerful. It really is. When the students come across that stage at commencement, they'll whisper in my ear as they shake my hand, and they'll say, "It took me 10 years to get here." Or they'll say, "I wish my father were here to see this. He passed away." And I whisper back, "He's here. He's seeing you." The emotional impact of that many people. On my watch, 12,000 people graduated from Quinsigamond Community College. Every one of them with hopes and dreams and aspirations. That's pretty powerful. That's my most cherished.
Your legacy.
My legacy, every one of those students. Clearly we've done a lot in terms of facilities development. I'm proud of the fact that we didn't allow, limited state resources to inhibit what we needed to do to ensure the students got the best possible facilities. When I came in, we were 7 classrooms and 3 labs shy of what we needed to service the 6,000 students we had then. Now, with over 8,000 students, we do have the Southbridge campus that we opened in 2009, facilitating the educational opportunities for individuals in that region, where 25% of the households don't even own vehicles. We have the downtown campus opened in 2014, a beautiful healthcare and workforce development center. It's just spectacular. It's a beautiful space.
If I may mention, I had a recent medical scare, and I was in St. Vincent's Hospital for 2 or 3 days. And just about everybody I talked to had attended Quinsig, and they were so thrilled and so appreciative of the education they received here. So it's got to be pretty gratifying.
Yeah, I will tell you that I think the faculty at Quinsigamond Community College is second to none. And that's particularly true in the healthcare, because that there are life and death issues that the students have got to deal with once they get into the workforce. And it's rigorous. These are rigorous programs, no two ways about it. But boy, those students shine. They shine. I love the nurses' pinnings with the parents hooping and hollering, and the students who were, needing to really measure up, who passed one exam after another to get through, where they just celebrate each other and celebrate their success. It's just phenomenal.
That's great. We're chatting with outgoing president, Dr. Gail Carberry. I guess this will be maybe not your final Face the Region. Maybe you'll come back after a couple of years. Who knows? We will continue to chat with her right here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to QCC's Face the Region here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. I'm Zip Zipfel, and chatting with Dr. Gail Carberry, who is retiring after 11 years as president of QCC. And in the first segment, we just briefly touched on some of the achievements that you have accomplished in your time here. One of the other things I've noticed since I started doing the program here, when I talk to students, you mentioned briefly that a lot of them weren't quite sure what they wanted to do or what path they wanted to take. And I think QCC absolutely excels and figuring out and drilling down, and you mentioned the staff too. The professors and faculty take such a personal interest in helping kids.
They do. The affordability factor with Quinsigamond is huge. For about $6,000 you can come full time to Quinsigamond, plus books and your travel expenses. Compared to the cost of higher education elsewhere, that's a huge bargain. For the middle class family who has a kid who's not quite sure what he or she wants to do after they graduate from high school, Quinsigamond is that opportunity for them to find themselves, among other things, and to transfer on to places like Worcester State University or WPI or UMass or Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Science. Students graduate out of the nursing program at Quinsigamond and can be accepted directly into the master's program at Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences in pharmacy, and also in the nurse practitioner field. So that's huge savings for families. And I do think that there are so many families that invest too heavily in the freshman year experience at some colleges when kids haven't found themselves yet. Money's hard to come by these days for every family. And, kids need an opportunity to find themselves. Some kids are ready to go, no two ways about it. But some do need the opportunity that a community college can afford, and Quinsigamond is really good at that. We see a lot of veterans who come through us, too. We have well over 300, I think maybe 400 or more veterans who are coming here under their veterans benefits. They are finding pathways to a new future for themselves post-service. We see a lot of students who come through to us who come out of the inner city locations, first-generation college students whose parents have not had the opportunity to get a college degree. We see a lot of students who are foreign-born, who are part of the immigrant wave of the current Worcester demography. I will say that Worcester's always been a melting pot.
Boy, has
always been a melting pot, and today it's pretty much the same. In our graduating classes, we see many students who began their lives in Africa or in Asia or in Europe. Of course, we see many who are born right here, but it is a very diverse group of students that come through Quinsigamond. All ages, both genders, making their way through.
That's great. Speak a little bit about, the perceptions, and in no way is this a negative on the higher education of the Dartmouths and Ivy Leagues and more expensive schools, which a lot of those kids are graduating with really large student loan.
Yeah, that's true. President Maloney over at Worcester State and I, a few years back, had some very comprehensive conversations about our concerns in that direction. And so we rolled out what we called the 30K commitment, which was the $30,000 cost for a student to begin at Quinsigamond, go full-time, and go through Worcester State. $30,000 all in, which was about what the average was to attend 1 year in Massachusetts at most schools. Some of them, of course, are much higher than that. The governor picked up on our model, and he has carried it statewide, and that's what they call the Commonwealth commitment. And so individuals can get that degree and not break the bank and not take on enormous debt. For myself, I have degrees from 8 community college in Massachusetts, one from Worcester State University as well at the baccalaureate level. My graduate degrees are from UMass Amherst, both my master's and my doctorate. I did a pretty good job. With those credentials. I got to tell you, I think, a lot of people think you got to go the Ivy League route, and you know what? If you can afford it, or if you get the scholarships to go, by all means. We send many students. We had 2 students this past graduating class that were accepted at Amherst and Williams and Yale. And it was interesting because the one that was accepted at Amherst and Yale at the same time said, well, I suppose I should, let Amherst know that I've been accepted at Yale sooner rather than later so they can free up a slot for another student, because there were other students from Quinsigamond waiting on the wait list to get into Amherst. So I said, did you hear yourself? Did you hear yourself? I have to tell Amherst that I'm going to Yale. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? And he did his first 2 years at Quinsigamond for approximately $12,000 total, and he's a veteran. He's a veteran. So, it's incredible to me what students are able to accomplish here. When they apply themselves and when they avail themselves of the support services that the college will provide, both tutoring and advising and counseling, you can get there. You can get anywhere you want to go. And you know what? His resume is going to say he's got a Yale degree. I hope it also says he's got a QCC degree because he knows where he started.
Sure. I've also had working with Josh Martin on some of the videos at the various manufacturing facilities in central Massachusetts, and they speak so highly of the students that have started in the internship programs and now have been there 12, 13, 15 years and have moved up and are in supervisory positions, and they really do give the hat tip right back to QCC, so it's worked out well.
Well, our students, when they have the opportunity, they shine. They really do. We opened the Quest Center, big Q, small U for Quinsigamond, engineering, science, and technology. The Quest Center in January of 2016. We've got state-of-the-art facilities here for manufacturing, robotics. We have what they call a fab lab, fabrication lab here. We got strong science programs. We have biotechnology, robotics. We've had a lot of programming here to support the regional needs beyond the healthcare side. We also have a performing arts program here. A student who might want to major in music can transfer out of Quinsigamond. We've got great partnerships with Burncoat High School. It's the performing arts high school at our gate, at the north side of our campus.
Street.
Yeah, and then we have, a theater program. So I think it's important to find the right niche when you come to Quinsigamond, to have some sense of what you want to do, but it's okay if you're not 100% sure. You can come in, you can take your, general education, English and psychology and a few other things while you're looking around, while you're trying to get your legs and figure out what you're good at. I think it's great for students to be able to explore their own potentials. And I think Quinsigamond is great at that. So, we have a whole range of areas where individuals can major. Human services, people who are on the front lines working with individuals in our community and our agencies that support those in need. We have, of course, an education program here, both a transfer to Worcester State, but also an early childhood education major. We've got criminal justice here, a very big program, and business. We've got about 600 students enrolled in business curriculum here. Great transfer program over to Nichols College, and of course over to Worcester State and other places. I mentioned Nichols because I've agreed to go on their board after I retire. A lot of respect for Nichols College.
Work in the room.
Yeah,
That's
they've
great.
worked real hard with us to build affordable pathways for the students who come through Quinsigamond. So I developed a great fondness for them over the years. So, as of course, I do have for Worcester State as well because that's my alma mater, and I've known Barry Maloney for years. So we're both out of the Springfield side in our most recent employments before we came here. But Worcester is my roots. Worcester is where I was born, where my mother's roots are so deep they go back about 8 generations.
Wow.
So Worcester's home. Worcester is home.
We are chatting with Dr. Gail Carberry here on Face the Region on Full Service Radio AM 830 WCRN. We're going to take a quick break and come back one final time and kind of wrap things up on an illustrious and highly, just an amazing career. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back once again to QCC's Face the Region, heard every week here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. I'm Zip Phil, and we are chatting this afternoon with Dr. Gail Carberry, who after 11 years is, retirement, somehow just does not seem to apply to you. I think, you may have dialed it back a little bit, but I still see you making inroads on all different types of challenges in the future. Would you agree?
There are a lot of folks who are asking me to step up on boards. I'm contemplating. I've accepted two thus far, but none of us know how many years God's going to give us.
That's true.
How many days. And I'm still married to the same man that I fell in love with 50 years ago. So, I don't know how many years he's going to get either. So I'm trying to be judicious, I guess is the right word, about how I spend my retirement time. I love this community. I think my passion for the community has been what's driven me over these last few years. I love downtown Worcester from the time I was a kid. Now they have a building down there that's called the Carberry Center.
And a beautiful building.
Oh, isn't it that?
Isn't
it that? That's the building where my brother, who has since passed, began his newspaper career working for the T&G. So sure. It has a particular feeling in my heart to see that it's been brought to productive use through Quinsigamond. I feel his spirit there. I would say that for me, I have some writings I want to do. I have some paintings I want to put out. I have stories I want to tell. And of course, there's that little guy, that little 12-week-old grandson of mine. I'm still raising my 16, almost 17-year-old grandson. He has been my husband and my joy since he was born. His mom passed when he was little, and so we have been blessed to be raising him. His mother was a really incredible lady, an artist, and so when my husband and I came, and during my inauguration, one of the things we did was make a legacy gift to the college. And they permitted us to name the front slope where all the kids go sledding, Amy's Slope, in memory of our daughter Amy. This event that you spoke about, where I was honored this week, some of the proceeds from that will support the Amy Carberry Scholarship as well, Amy H. Carberry Scholarship. It was nice to have her present at that event, in spirit, through that scholarship fundraiser. And so, yeah, that front slope where my older grandson, when he was little, did his first sledding in Worcester. That means a lot to us. It truly does. It's dedicated to all children and the parents who love them, in memory of Amy H. Carberry. So I think there's been a good run. We've had a lot of blessings along the way, opportunities for us to feel welcome, and opportunities for us to feel appreciated. And I will say that I'm going to miss that. I'm going to find other places to put my energy. My house will probably be spotless. I'll try and find things to do.
Let me ask you this. Any words of maybe not advice, but just words of encouragement to the incoming president?
Oh, you bet.
What would you like to see happen here if there is something that you haven't already taken on?
Yeah, well, I would say Dr. Pedraja is a very committed person. I think he was selected by the trustees for a number of reasons, not the least of which is his strong passion for social and economic justice, which is the way I've always operated as well. I feel as if Quinsigamond is as much a social and economic justice engine that uses education as the tool to bring families to better places where they can support their own needs, where they can become upwardly mobile in terms of their socioeconomic standing. Everybody needs a well-paying job. And that's what I think Quinsigamond does as a social and economic justice benefit. Clearly, the industries of the region, the businesses of the region need skilled people. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is the face side, the head side, and it is the face of every person in this community who needs an opportunity. And I think Dr. Pedraja gets that. I would encourage him to ensure that both sides of the coin are balanced, that we work forward with the community as strongly as this administration has done before. I know he gets it. He's a community college person, and community college people are as much about heart as they are about head. So I do believe that Dr. Pedraja is going to do a phenomenal job leading this college. He's got more energy now than I have at my age. I'm going to be entering my 70th year of life next October. I can't believe it. I don't know where the time went. But he's a lot younger than I am, and I think he's going to be terrific.
Great. Well, I know I speak for everybody in the Central Massachusetts community, and a lot of them spoke the other night via video and in person on the podium, thanking you so much for all your efforts and the great achievements you've had. Wish you the greatest joy in your retirement, but again, I kind of feel like this is just you get a little respite, and then you'll be back on the bicycle again, I'm sure. But Dr. Carberry, thank you so much, and best of luck in the future, and best of luck to
Indeed, my
your family
pleasure.
as
My
well.
pleasure to have served this community, and I'm going to stay put. I'm going to stay in the community. I'm not heading anywhere. I'm still around because this is my home.
God bless you. That'll do it for this edition of QCC's Face the Region. Join us again next week on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN.
This has been Quinsigamond Community College's Face the Region. Join us again next weekend on AM 830 WCRN.